This is the Propaganda Report. I'm Brad Binkley, joined by Ian Covell. Stacey Abrams, round 3. Hitler fan fiction. Yeah,
Sorry,
I know.
course
No,
3.
third one. Course 3 or 4 or 8.
Yeah.
And Progressive Reginald is going to be joining us, which I'm excited for you to finally get to meet.
That would
Ian.
be great.
It's been really
I've
hard
never met him.
to get you two in the same room together, but hopefully it will happen tonight. There will be no unforeseen incidences to prevent that. I am assured tonight. So, by the way, just real quick, you guys know I don't like to do this. If you like the show, share it with your friends. Leave a 5-star review and a comment that warms our hearts. Share, like I said, also share it with your friends. I already said that. But if you're listening on your podcast app, let the ads play through. We don't get anything if the ads are skipped. Or subscribe to patreon.com/propaganda report to get the show ad-free, or propreport.locals.com. It's the same thing. You get it ad-free, or you can subscribe at tinyurl.propshow and make a monthly donation of your choice or a one-time donation of your choice. And all links in bio at Freedom Act Radio on X, and website is propagandafight.com. So let's go ahead and jump in. Quickly, Stacey and Binkley BFFs. You're right, Dana. I say that story for a second just so I could get my emotions out, because I don't like to get too emotional, because she is like my comic book arch nemesis, Stacey Abrams is. And I had to talk about the story, but I did want to quickly get out the update on the Russia-Ukraine saga, the war over there, and all of the money that we're sending to Ukraine to fight this war. Trump has called Zelensky recently a man with no cards to play. No trump cards, if you will, and suggested that America is just going to walk away from the negotiating table altogether if there is not an agreement to end the war soon, saying outright that Zelensky has been harder to deal with than Putin. And Zelensky's not controlling things, so that's probably part of that. And I don't know that Putin is controlling things over on his end either, but Zelensky's obviously...
Zelensky dies as soon as this war's over, right?
Maybe
that's what happens.
Could be, right? Or he becomes a personal chef and dancer for Putin. We're not sure. It's one of those alternatives.
Dance for me.
Right. That's part of the deal is all right. Vladimir and Vladimir. We have 2 Vladimirs here. One's just going to dance for the other. Okay?
Vlad 1, Vlad 2.
Vlad 2 is Zelensky, okay?
Why do I have to be Vlad 2?
You have to play the piano with your penis for Vlad 1, which that's that video of him. Have you seen that video of him playing the piano with his penis? Vladimir Zelensky?
No.
Because he was a comic and an actor before. And there's a video. He did lots of crazy things as comics and actors do.
Ukrainian comedy.
That's the problem with a comedian becoming an actor. Anybody who's ever been a comedian has done a lot of weird videos.
Yeah.
At some point in their career.
It's tough. It's tough to be an Eastern European comedian. Pretty tough.
Because you have to play pianos, and you become president based on a television show, which is a strange. And a lot of people don't know this, but his entire production staff at the company that he had, which I think he owned it with other people that produced that television show that he was in, where he was the teacher who probably became president, which is then what happened. Except he wasn't a teacher after that. They then got rid of all of the people in government, and they replaced them with his production staff and all the people who...
No, that's not true.
That's true. That's absolutely true. The production staff became the government.
That's fucking crazy.
I know. It's real, though. And I can't remember the exact positions and the equivalent of the production position, but it's like, the assistant producer became the Secretary of Defense equivalent. It's like stuff like that. It's wild.
That's crazy. That's great. I gotta look more into that.
Yeah, it is crazy. When you look into it, you're like, "Holy cow!" It's really. And look, some might also point out and say, "Well, look at Trump. Look at the.
Look at
the woman, the wife of the WWE guy. He gave her a position.
Linda McMahon.
Yeah. So there's some equivalency some might point to.
But that's different. Here, I'm gonna push back on that a tiny bit. That's different because she's a totally separate. Look, just because she's married to the WWF guy doesn't mean she's a dumb wrestler. She's just married to this guy. But being a production member and then going into politics, running an entire country, that's way different.
I would say you could point to her career accomplishments. I'm just saying what the counter argument's going to be to that. They're going to point
I know.
There was an article the other day about how the Trump presidency is the WWE basically, which I've been saying not Trump necessarily. I've been saying all government is WWE for about 10 years now. And there's probably people who said that much
They're the
before I
super
did.
friends. I call them the super friends.
Right. They divide and conquer, then they go slap asses behind closed doors a little bit more than people realize.
They work out of the Hall of Justice.
Yeah. That's why when people get so mad when they're like they see Trump and Schumer laughing together. It's like what do they expect? It's they've bought in so much to the divide and conquer propaganda that they expect that every time these people are around each other, they're just going to be going screw, and just fighting with each other. And that's just not the
Jasmine
reality.
Crockett, MTG.
Right. Yeah. There are parliaments in other countries where they do break out in fistfights. We have yet to see that, at least recently.
You think that's going to happen? 5 years? Does Kalshi or
Look,
any of these,
I hope it's AOC and Bobert. And I hope
let's get a bet started on it.
who are the first two to
Yeah.
surf. Yeah. Well, it'd have to be the best looking ones, I think. Unless it was the oldest ones and they killed each other because they're trying to get rid of the older ones. So they try and put Schumer against, I don't know who the Republican equivalent of Schumer is. But maybe an in-party fight. Maybe AOC and Pelosi having just knocking each other around with their exactly matched breast.
Hands tied behind their backs.
Bring back
boob boxing.
Look, Oliver will come back, that Rizzler, Oliver Queen. Well, we're not supposed to know who he is. He's a Green Arrow. I talked to him earlier. He's out fighting crime today, so I don't know if he'll get in today, but he will definitely be back on the show at some period of time. As we had a surprise guest, and the Green Arrow showed up randomly the other night. And he felt
great.
Ian pointed out he felt a little insecure. I think there's people see him as not as good as Batman.
Yeah, not as good as Batman. I think he did feel the tiniest bit insecure about not being Batman.
And that's unfortunate for him because he's got so much going for him. He survived an island. Batman, he survived some bats.
He's just another superhero oligarch.
Rizzler says trying to get you on Timcast. I'd go on Timcast. I don't know if they'd invite me back, but I'd go on one time and have some fun for sure. Yeah, I think that would be a fun thing to do that. So, all right.
Yeah.
So here's what Trump said. He said that about Zelensky, but then, and what the news is saying, a rare criticism of Putin, killed a bunch of people. The Russians killed a bunch of people. I think last night it was, or maybe the night before. And Trump got on True Social and told Vladimir after this attack, he said, stop, in all caps, after the barrage of attacks on Kyiv or Kiev, depending on how you like to pronounce it. And he said, I'm not happy with the Russian strikes on Kiev. Not necessary and very bad timing. Vladimir, stop, in all caps. 5,000 soldiers are dying. And he said that on True Social, and he said, let's get the peace deal done. So, pushing back on both sides there. I don't know what's going to happen here. I don't know if a deal will be made, but if it is true that
Did
they're
Vlad
going to
tweet back?
Vlad does not have a True
truth
Social
back?
account.
He
I don't
didn't
think
truth back?
well, maybe he does. He's just got like 3 followers, so he feels like a Green Arrow compared to Batman, and so he doesn't want to go on there and not get as much of a response. I don't know if there was a response from Putin yet on that. I just know if it is actually true that they're going to stop the aid to Ukraine, if there is no deal made, I say fantastic.
Let's do it.
Do Israel
Full speed
next.
ahead.
I say get rid of all the aid to foreign wars.
No more
Treat
AIDS.
it all the same. And, stop the foreign aids. And speaking of AIDS, let's talk about Stacey Abrams considering, not that she has that. I'm just, she eats it is all I'm saying. After 2 losses to Brian Kemp, Stacey Abrams considering a 3rd run for governor of Georgia, this time not without fellow challengers in the Democrat Party, as some guy named State Senator Jason Esteves, I'm guessing that's a Hispanic, has entered the race, and as well as former Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms, who was in Biden's administration, also is expected to join as well. And there could be others. So she's going to have a little competition in her own right. And she hasn't officially announced yet, but according to this AJC article, she sounds a lot like she did prior to her 2018 campaign, as she was speaking to a group of young black women recently in Atlanta, when she said, Democrats must never let a good crisis go to waste. Very Saul Alinsky. like of her, and they must mobilize Trump's policies. And then you have a Republican GOP strategist saying every Georgia Democrat is scared to death of Abrams' run because they know they can't beat her in the primary, but she's also probably the worst candidate in general. And so my thoughts on Stacey. Stacey is not going anywhere, and this is probably a trial balloon to see what the reaction is of her running a third time. I agree that she would probably be the Democrat candidate. I think she would beat the other ones out, but I don't necessarily think that she can't win. I think without Kemp there, because it would be a new Georgia Republican without the name recognition that she has. I think she could win Georgia governor, and I think
that's the most frightening thing I can think of.
Well, is her being the governor of Georgia.
Dude. Oh, come on, dude. It'd be awful.
It's like Kingpin and Daredevil, except DEI.
So bad.
Is what it is. She is exactly that. But that's why I think that she won't run. My initial reaction is that because she could win, is that she won't run. She has built her entire career on losing, blaming that loss on racism, oppression, and then organizing people around that theory. And that's how she's risen. She has won her entire career by losing and blaming an ism. So the opportunity to actually win puts her in that position where she can't be the oppressed victim. And that has been her ticket to success and financial wealth, quite frankly, for her entire life. So I don't think she wants to win governor of Georgia. But I could be wrong. That's my initial reaction to that. Very excited about Lyme. That's the update right there, Tony. Is that right there? Is she's going to run again? Maybe. I think it's a trial balloon, but she's going to walk slowly for a few minutes, and after some heavy breathing and a baconator, and a little totally. Denver says, I see Abrams as another political election cycle of go baconator bribery and half-eaten
bribery.
Yeah, Georgia bacon. No, there's a shortage of baconators in Georgia. There has been since Stacey Abrams and Fani Willis emerged onto the scene. I don't know that that's the exact blame, but I think we assume that it probably is. But think about that. I feel like that is something the Republicans can do. They might not be running for the same positions of anything, but they both vie for the power of top black female of Fulton County. Atlanta. It's Stacey Abrams versus Fani Willis. I mean, that would be. I would pay per view. I would spend the money to get the pay per view, or I guess it's not pay per view anymore, but whatever people buy boxing matches on. If it were those two fighting against each other, I would pay
I would pay for that.
$200 for that.
Yeah, easy.
Definitely.
I don't even care who wins. I just want to see the fight.
right. They both just stop. They crawl their sidelines. They're just fueled. They don't even have water. They pour baconators into their mouth.
If Fani has a chance, if she can get Stacey winded, but if Stacey corners her, Stacey gets her trapped between those big ass butt cheeks. It's over.
all over. Or she swallows her with her vagina, where she keeps her entire staff of white gay liberal men. There's a whole city inside of her womb, from what I understand. And when you punch Stacey Abrams, if she opens her mouth, your fist will go right through the gap in her teeth.
Jeez.
Yeah, so you're in a lot of trouble there. Celebrity death match, least righteous politician I know of, says Tony. All right, moving on from that. But real quick, then we'll get to the Larry David Hitler story. Trump, the President Trump has he's plans to direct, or he has. I don't know if it's happened yet, or if he's just planning to do it. The Justice Department to investigate Act Blue, which is the main Democrat fundraising platform. It's something I've been covering for like 7 years now because it's a scam. You can launder money through it where it doesn't come from. That's like they act like the primary feature of it is that it's kind of a decentralized way for Democrats to get small donations from a bunch of people. But just a side effect happens to be that you can launder money through old people whose information you've gotten, and you can donate thousands of times through them, which has happened. There's been thousands of donations that equate to millions of dollars from very, very old people who, when investigated, these old people have been like, I didn't make any donations to this, but just they got their information stolen because you're not required to verify your card information on with the thing on the back of the card. That's one of the things that makes it vulnerable. Is enabled
the 3-digit security
the
code?
3-digit thing that and there's other features of it as well. But he's called for Pam Bondi, so Act Blue Bondi, to investigate the online donations. And it says the inquiry is abstainably meant to look into possible illegal donations made by people in someone else's name, known as straw donations, as well as hard dollar contributions from foreign donors, because there's also, it makes it easier to donate from foreign countries without being recognized where it's coming from. And let's see here. Yeah, so the memorandum that he put out notes that a congressional investigation revealed significant fraud schemes using ActBlue, and over a 30-day period during the 2024 election, hundreds of ActBlue donations from foreign IP addresses using prepaid cards, despite it being illegal for foreign nationals to contribute to U.S. elections. And the platform in 2023 admitted that it didn't require contributors to use that card verification value to donate to the website. And that's just the beginning of the problems with ActBlue. There's other problems with it, and I'm going to go back and look at some of the research I've done on that like years ago, because it goes beyond just that. That's like, I hope they don't just investigate that, because that might turn out to be a limited hangout, which brings me to why I brought this story up. Let's hope Pam Bondi does a better job on this than the Epstein files and all the other stuff she's kind of been assigned to lately. There's just a lot of misdirection going around when people want certain things that were promised, and some things have been fulfilled. Ross was freed. That's one thing. There's some other things that people would say are fulfilled, but ActBlue, this is a platform that needs to be taken down. It's money laundering, and it has been for many years.
So it sounds like what someone can do is just buy, you said, a prepaid
card.
I should
say money laundering. Sorry,
anywhere in the world.
Yeah. I don't mean not money laundering. I mean they're. Yeah, I used the wrong phrase there. They're just getting all these donations very illegally, and I totally used the retarded phrase. But go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't interrupt.
No. Yeah. So I could just go buy a prepaid debit card, load it up, and then donate to ActBlue and make up all my credentials.
It's I don't know the exact simplicity of it, but yes, it is not difficult to make repeated donations.
Well, these people are pieces of shit, Brad.
Yeah, it was like I remember when it first came out, I looked into it, and it's been so long. I talked about this on WSB years ago. We went through some of this. It was like, it's so easy to manipulate or skate the rules based on how this platform works. And people used to say the Republicans should make one too, because they're able to do this fraud. That's a better way. Instead of money laundering, that's a better, simpler term. Is fraud. Definitely is. Because they brag about the small donations. We have 1 million small donations from all these people. It's a groundswell. It's just like indivisible protests. Those are not actually. Those are astroturf. This is a way to make large sums of money seem like they're
small donations.
Yeah, but it's astroturfed. It is coming
so I mean, in a way, it's laundering money. If I give 100 people $10,000 and split it evenly among them, and tell them to make political donations in small amounts, it's somewhat laundering the money.
Right. Yeah. Thank you for making me feel less dumb there. Appreciate that. yeah, you're right. That Christian says, I donated to Trump twice and had to enter my employer info. Well, they release these donation documents when people are running for office, and you can go look at them. They're remember, you can find them on the state website where they run, and they have to make them public. And I used to read through Stacey Abrams when she was running just to see all of because it would be like, she's such, like I said, it's just movement of people on the ground. And I would just point out all of the big companies. Look at this company is very wealthy. Look at this billionaire, that billionaire donating the maximum amount. And look at all these strange donations who come from one repeated source that you can't really identify.
Right.
And that's when we first started looking at Act Blue as how come we have no idea where this came from?
Donationservices.com.
Right. And so as Bad Christian is pointing out, you're supposed to know where those donations come from. It's supposed to be easy to track down. And so that's good that they're investigating that. Let's hope that it's a real investigation as opposed to like if they came out and said, turns out Act Blue is nothing but legal and all those old people just had dementia and didn't realize, they just donated over and over and over and over again to somebody they didn't realize they ever donated to, then I think that would probably make a lot of people go, I don't trust that outcome.
Won't they just go and find some other way to be pieces of shit?
Of course, yes, they absolutely will. And that's the power of wealth. One of the powers of wealth and power is when rules are established for a game, if you have the resources, you can use those resources to find a way to exploit the loopholes. And that is what politicians and people in power are going to do. And people are going to say that Trump would do that. And Trump would actually say himself, like he did during that one of those early debates in 2016, where he's like, he doesn't pay much taxes because he's smart, because he pays the tax guys to find the ways around it. And that's what any wealthy person is going to do. You remember that? Dave Chappelle joked about it in one of the like a year after he got elected, because he was accused by Hillary of finding loopholes in the tax system.
Yeah,
and he was like,
and
he's like, that makes me smart. And it's like, yes. He didn't deny it. He was like, of course.
Yeah,
that's what everybody's doing.
Right. That's you and your friends. Everyone does it.
Yes.
I think that's what he said. He goes, and your friends, you and your friends are the ones that allow it. You're the ones that make the laws.
And Chappelle's joke when he talks about all that is spot on. It's a great joke. Great. But so what you were saying is exactly true. So I can't pull up the actual article to show the images, so that's why I put that image of Larry David and Hitler having dinner as the screen image there behind us, which Grok made. I thought sometimes Grok will be like, I can't make that. It had no problem making the image of Hitler and Larry David dining. And I sent you this article last night. The article was Larry David, my dinner with Adolf. And all the article is.
I read it.
Yes. So did you also hear Bill Maher when he talked about his dinner with Trump?
Yes.
So all he did was take
Because it's all I want to do is have dinner with Trump. I really do. I want to have dinner with Trump so bad.
I think it would be an interesting
the
thing.
most fun dinner I've ever had.
And Larry David would replace that with Hitler, and you'd be saying that all you wanted to do is have. And that's what he did. So he just took like the transcript of Bill Maher talking about his dinner with Trump, and he replaced Trump with Hitler, and he added a little bit of color to it.
It was terrible.
Yeah, we'll not read the whole thing, but we'll read a few passages.
It was beneath his talent as a comedy writer. I got to be honest.
And it's interesting too, because he used to be able to joke about this. I mean, RFK Jr.'s wife played his wife at the beginning of Curb Your Enthusiasm, and was in the show every season, even though they got divorced.
Oh yeah.
And at one season of Curb Your Enthusiasm, Larry David, he used to wear a MAGA hat around L.A. because he knew it would make people not want to talk to him, and he just didn't want to be annoyed.
Right.
It was something like that. But he wore it because it was like, oh, this is great. But now it seems as though he is.
Oh, he has no. The fact that he really believes Trump is Hitler, you're fucking insane. If that's what you think, that is the most insane overwrought. It's just another overwrought comparison. They're allowed to do it whenever they want.
Absolutely. And it's coming from Larry David as well. 'Cause if you watch Curb Your Enthusiasm and Seinfeld, this is not a politically correct person.
No, but also there was, I don't know what to call it. There was also a New York Times op-ed about the Larry David essay.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
And basically he said, we don't ever let people talk about Nazis unless they're actually Nazis. That's a New York Times policy, right? And I'm like, okay.
It's a New.
And he said, but, sometimes, and then he goes on to explain why satire is important and what satire does and how satire heightens something to a ridiculous place to make it make sense. It's like, it was so stupid.
And this was Larry David that was talking, or the writer?
That was the staff member, the editor of the New York Times,
like
one of the editors, talking about it because it was submitted to him.
I see.
Right, and so he does this little preface to it where he says it's this little preface, and he's one column preface, and he's just basically saying, we don't ever do this. You can imagine how crazy it was to get this in my inbox, but I just felt like it was too important not to publish it.
That's funny.
It's really stupid.
It's really funny. He says he got that in his inbox as though an op-ed written by Larry David.
Yeah, Larry was just on his iPad one night, staying up late working.
I better email this guy. Of all, is this Larry David that showed up in my? Mm-hmm. Yeah, like it wasn't
Larry.David@gmail.com.
Yeah, Gmail. Yeah. What's funny is that Larry David probably uses Proton Mail and Signal. They probably all have Signal chats.
Yeah.
Which is another story altogether.
Insane.
All right. So here's just some of what he said. And it just goes straight into it. Larry David, My Dinner with Adolf. And it starts off by saying, imagine my surprise when, in the spring of 1939, a letter arrived at my house inviting me to dinner at the old, what does that say? Chancellery. Did I say that right? Chancellery.
It's not on the screen.
Yeah, Chancellery.
Chancellery, yeah.
Chancellery with the world's most reviled man, Adolf Hitler. I had been a vocal critic of his on the radio from the beginning, pretty much predicting everything he was going to do on the road to dictatorship. No one I knew encouraged me to go. Quote, he's Hitler, he's a monster. But eventually I concluded that hate gets us nowhere. I knew I couldn't change his views, but we need to talk to the other side, even if he has invaded other countries and committed unspeakable crimes against humanity. 2 weeks later, I found myself on the front steps of old Chancellery, and led into a living room where a few of the Führer's most vocal supporters had gathered. Himmler, the Duke of Windsor, King Edward VIII. Those are all his supporters, I guess. We talked about some of the beautiful art on the walls that had been taken from the homes of the Jews, but our conversation ended abruptly when we heard loud footsteps coming down the hallway. Everyone stiffened as Hitler entered the room. He was wearing a tan suit with a swastika armband and gave me an enthusiastic greeting that caught me off guard. Frankly, it was a warmer greeting than I normally get from my parents, and it was accompanied by a slap on my back. I found the whole thing quite disarming. I joked that I was surprised to see him in a tan suit because if he wore that out, it would be perceived as Führer-like. That amused him to no end, and I realized I'd never seen him laugh before. Suddenly, he seemed so human. Here I was prepared to meet Hitler, the one I'd seen and heard, the public Hitler, but this private Hitler was a completely different animal, and oddly enough, this one seemed more authentic. It was like more authentic, like this was the real Hitler. The whole thing had my head spinning. And then it goes on and on, this is what Bill Maher said during his monologue.
And if Donald Trump had invaded other countries and committed genocide against people, I would agree. Having dinner with him would be strange. But he hasn't even done something equivalent to that.
He hasn't. I would even argue. So having dinner with Hitler, especially if you're a critic, probably would have been something that might have gotten you killed. So Bill Maher's still alive. If it's something, if we knew that the outcome of having dinner with somebody who is an evil dictator or portrayed that way was going to end up in you not getting killed, then I actually think that it'd be perfectly fine to do that. So Kim Jong-un or Il or whichever one this one is.
Yeah.
I don't think it's bad to have a conversation with somebody
we should open a family-style buffet restaurant called Hitler's Buffet and use him use him as a fun mascot.
Yeah.
To bring people in, like a big cartoonish caricature type, kind of like a real
$6.99,
fat,
you know,
like almost a
he's
fat,
a real
kind
fat,
of pudgy,
fun Hitler, just
like a Shoney's big boy,
Shoney's
meets
Hitler, big boy,
yeah,
right.
yeah,
like the Golden Buddha, but Hitler,
yeah.
You think we should open a restaurant like that?
Oh, you can eat Wiener Schnitzel.
The buffet is that way. It's that way.
My heart goes out to you.
Yeah, he's pointing at the buffet with his his heart is going out to the buffet. Yeah.
All the servers.
All the servers are wearing SS gear, but they're very, very sweet and
Very
willing
sweet.
to have a conversation.
Yeah.
Is all.
Yeah.
So
Would you like more cornbread?
And some
Don't forget
Jew?
the soft ice cream. Soft serve ice cream bar.
And they make a big. You ever been to? There's a place called Dick's in Myrtle Beach where all they do is they make fun of you. You go there to be made fun of.
Oh no, I know the concept. Is it?
Yeah.
Does it work? Should I go over there and get a job as a bartender?
You should not go eat there. You would get angry.
Would I really?
My sister got very mad at them. I was like, honey, it's just part of the deal here. It's just part of the deal.
Whatever, retard.
Yeah. I wonder if that place is even still open now.
Oh, you want ketchup on your hot dog? What are you, 5?
Yeah, Jew. Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's what. So they can do the same thing if it's a Jewish person eating there. They can just do whatever. But it's actually fun because it all ends in a nice way.
Oh.
And
thanks for the tip, fuckface.
One of the last paragraphs here that it kind of closes up by saying, 2 hours later, after the dinner was over, and the Fuhrer escorted me to my door and said, "I'm so glad to have met you. I hope I am no longer the monster you thought I was," said Hitler. "I must say, mein Fuhrer," said Larry David, "I'm so thankful I came. Although we disagree on many issues, it doesn't mean that we have to hate each other." And with that, I gave him a Nazi salute and walked out into the night. And to this, I say, imagine being Bill Maher and... Bill Maher's not really that likable of a, but he does call out some things that are okay, even though he's wrong on a lot of things. But imagine being Bill Maher, who is a huge Democrat, and then Democrats call you a Nazi sympathizer. It's just so... So that raises the question for me is like, what is Larry David promoting next? Is he just doing this to do it, which that's rarely the case? Does he have a book coming out? There's definitely not a new season of Curb Your Enthusiasm.
You think he's got a political run? He's going to run for office?
That would be hilarious if he ran for office.
Him and Bernie Sanders run together.
That's Bernie Sanders.
As Sanders and Sanders.
Sanders and Sanders. I am interested in what he does because usually in the past when he has come out and done stuff like this, it's been because a new season of Curb Your Enthusiasm was about to come out. And he was drawing attention to himself. And through the interview, he would then mention, or they would mention, "Oh, and you have a new season. We brought you on and you bashed Trump. Now we will mention your new season of Curb Your Enthusiasm as per our agreement." Which is what a lot of these appearances by figures are, is there's always a book promotion or there's a promotion of something. But there was no promotion by him of anything in this. Maybe he's a true believer.
He seems miserable.
He does seem miserable. And,
I could be wrong.
His wife left him for JFK, so
I know.
Maybe that's it. I wanted him to do another season of Curb while Trump was in office, and I wanted Trump. I wanted the storyline to have Cheryl end up marrying RFK in the show, and then Larry David trying to crash the White House, and you can even bring Trump in. And you can have a really funny scene.
Yeah.
But it's not going to happen because we can't get along.
Trump would be hilarious on Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Larry,
dude,
I don't think you should be here. Your ex-wife
is
here.
It would be fucking legendary.
Yeah, dude. Grovey says David and Sanders doppelgangers. All right. So our guest is going to be here shortly. I'm going to show you one thing that I think our guest should be on. He just texted me. He should be on in a couple minutes. Okay. I wanted to show you this the other day. Did you? Are you okay?
Yeah.
Did you just strain your vocal cord?
I just strained him. Brad, I gotta get some ice on my vocal cord, dude.
I told you not to move your vocabulary that rapidly.
Bad one. I know. I've been using some big words, man.
Nice.
All right, man. I gotta get some ice on this.
All right. Go put some ice on your vocal cord. Oh my gosh!
my God,
Are you,
that's my
Ian?
son.
What happened there?
Got it
Let me take you off of screen. Well, I don't know. Ian had to go. I was hoping Ian would be here. He'd get, dadgummit. Dana says, Ian, you can't leave. You might miss Reginald. That's exactly true, Dana. Denver says, it's just the ebb and flow. Mother showed praise to Rump, unexpected, so and an equal measure of negative press was called for. Yeah, to keep the narrative equilibrium. That's an excellent point, Denver. They have to throw out certain red meat for different audiences for sure. Romulik said, did he say something about the Clintons? No, he said nothing. Are you talking about Larry David? He said nothing about the Clintons in that article that I'm aware of anyway. He seems to be a fan of the Clintons or it's just so confusing when there's a comic who is unable to make fun of politicians all politicians. A comic can lean one way or another, sure, but as a comic, it's their job to make fun of whoever's in power or whoever they like or whoever they. It's just weird. Like Bill Burr is such a good comic. He's a great comic. There's actually a video of Bill Burr that AM Wake Up played a few weeks ago of him just roasting Bill Maher about being an uppity, just like rich, wealthy, elitist, and it's totally spot on. But Bill Burr, I just don't. I don't get how you can't make fun of everybody and yourself, even if you like people. That's what you do as a comedian. Maybe part of it is that clips are taken out of context, and then that is how people are branded. But I don't know. When you're a comedian like Larry David, who made Seinfeld, he was a co-creator of Seinfeld and Curb Your Enthusiasm, which are two shows that don't care about anything. That really, they're not offensive in what you might typically think as offensive, but they're the stars, the characters of these shows are degenerates. They're people they don't care about anything, let alone politics. And Larry David, who knows all of that. Ian is 28, Kat. Ian is 28 from what I recall. We'll have to ask him when he gets back on there for sure. His poor throat was damaged last night, says Bad Christian. I hope not. I don't know. We'll have to. Oh, here's our guest. Reginald, bringing you on. I was hoping you were going to get to meet Ian.
Hello, Bradley.
Ian just sprained a vocal cord and had to drop out. I was hoping you two would be able to meet for the first time.
No, I don't care. I don't want to meet Ian. I just want to burn it all down, Bradley.
Yeah, I see that reflected in your new avatar, because you've yet to show your actual face. You're like somebody who robs Kristi Noem. You don't show your face. You hide behind a mask or an avatar. You have red eyes in your avatar, like you're dark Reginald right now. Is this true?
Bradley, I don't want peace. The time for negotiation is over. I want justice, okay? And sometimes the only way to have justice is to stir up some trouble.
There's a lot to unpack there, Reginald. The time for negotiation is over, which sounds like a threat. So your way of moving your position forward is to stir up trouble. In what ways?
Well, first of all, we're going to burn it down. And
then burn what down?
It, and then we're going to build it back better.
Better. You're gonna build it back better.
Yeah, we're going to build something back. Yeah. We're going to build it right back, but better.
Do you work for the World Economic Forum?
Absolutely not.
Right. You would, though, in a second.
I do not work. No, I don't work for the wealthy, okay?
You have a much darker tone, Reginald. I have to say, you used to be just a good-spirited, flamboyant progressive, but now I feel like you've really hit your dark arc.
Am I making you uncomfortable, Bradley?
No, I'm not uncomfortable. Huh? Bad Christian says a bareback better, Reginald.
Okay, that's disgusting, and that's exactly what you and all of your MAGA friends on here would say. Okay, all of your Tea Party.
This isn't a MAGA show.
Oh, is it a Tea Party show?
This is
part of the big Tea Party.
A Boston Tea Party?
Oh yes. everyone, you're on the tea. This is a big tea party.
Are you trying to be Jasmine Crockett?
Look, I don't need an ally. Okay.
Did you read that article in the New York Times about dark woke and then embrace that? Is that what I'm seeing here?
You know what, Brad? I tried peaceful, but you ignored peaceful. So this is what you get. This is what you get. I tried to be peaceful, and now this is what you get. Okay?
What? Just a really aggressive Reginald?
Yeah, really aggressive, and I'm not gonna take any of your bull crap. Okay?
What are you gonna do?
There's gonna be consequences. Okay? You're not gonna get canceled. You're gonna be consequenced.
Specifically, how will I be consequenced? Are you
Okay,
gonna burn my? I don't have a Tesla.
We're
so
gonna
you
take away your internet.
You can't take away my internet.
Oh, yes, I
Reginald?
can. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Listen, after we build it back better, okay? We'll
Build
just
what back better though?
build back society. Build back society better, okay? All right.
What happened to your career as a playwright, Reginald?
Oh, I still do it, but I write plays for justice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not gonna take it anymore. We're done with the bull crap.
Okay.
You can go fudge yourself right in your face hole.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, I'm talking to you and anyone else who has anything. I will accept all challengers this evening.
Well, Bad Christian says maybe Reginald's mourning the loss of the Pope and you're acting out. Is this possibly an explanation for your behavior?
You mean the fact that we lost the most progressive Pope in the history of popes?
Are you mourning right now?
Look, I don't mourn anymore. I don't have.
So,
I don't
Reginald,
have any
it's
tears left.
It's not your fault.
Bradley,
It's not your fault.
I shed my last tear the moment Donald J. Trump became the 47th villain of the United States. Okay.
So Obama and Biden were villains?
Yeah. Yeah.
Really?
All of them were. Yeah. Yeah. Now I am. They were not left enough. No. I'm going to break your radio.
Reginald.
I'm going to go so far left.
Reginald, stop that. It's not your fault, Reginald.
Your
Stop it.
Your
Reginald,
radio.
Sit, Reginald. Good boy. Speak.
You think you can... Listen, if your comfort comes at the cost of someone else's survival, you're the problem.
My comfort doesn't come at the cost of anybody's survival. I think you've been propagandized, Reginald. And I think that a Bad Christian might be right. I think you have some mourning that you're doing. I think you're in the stages of grief over the loss of a very progressive pope. I think maybe you saw yourself in him. Maybe you'd even like to be the next pope. I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on what happened with the pope and where...
Well, you probably don't realize this, but I was baptized a Catholic.
Really?
As a child.
That
as a
doesn't
baby,
surprise me at
a
all. I'm
little
sure you
infant.
also enjoyed the sexual...
This is not funny, Bradley, okay? And so the only qualification one needs to become a pope is to be a baptized male Catholic. That's it.
Is
Did
that
you know
true?
Bradley?
Is that all the only
Oh,
requirement?
that is 100.
I believe you on that.
It's true.
So you're
true.
considering?
I'm going to put my pope hat in the ring.
Is that your butt? Your pope hat?
No. Brad, it's time. It's time to stop playing games. Okay? We're not even playing. We're not the same. You know, I want liberation.
We're not the same. What's that song called? Who sings that?
What do you
It's
mean?
that the guy who did the halftime show at Super Bowl. We're not the same.
Is it
I don't know his name. I figured
Kendrick
you'd know.
Lamar?
Kendrick Lamar, yeah. It's,
Yes.
yeah. You're quoting him.
wonderful Kendrick Lamar.
I'm sure. I probably don't like you.
You didn't get it. You probably didn't get that halftime show. I got it.
I'm sure you
completely.
loved that halftime show.
I
also.
understood it.
Yeah, I'm sure you
Yeah.
did.
I'll bet no one on your show, none of the people in the audience understood it, but I did.
Well, I'm sure that you did understand it. And we have a question here. What if what if Conclave, that show or movie? I don't know if it's a show or movie. I haven't seen it. What if it was predictive programming and we're getting a does that say shemale or schmole pope? SHMOLE. Does that mean anything to you?
Yes, it means hate when you say that word.
Schmole.
No, trans women is the proper nomenclature that we ascribe to people who are suffering that.
And what are you again? What is your gender identity?
I am a straight heterosexual male. I'm a virulent heterosexual male.
Yeah, you slay all that vag, right?
Oh, I've had lots of lovers.
Yeah, lots
of female lovers.
But
we've gone to bed together.
Yeah,
lots of times.
Yeah, many times.
Yes.
You've really brought them
with two backs, as the bard would say.
Excuse me? The beast with two backs?
That's a Shakespearean phrase for lovemaking.
It's a manly quote there, right? A very cis quote right there.
Yes.
Bad Christian says he's going to cancel you right there.
He can't. He can't cancel me. He can't do it because only I have the power to administer canceling or consequences.
How do you only you have the power? Where did you get this power? You do community theater that I think probably only your improv friends come to.
I just do it.
Yeah, you just do it. You live it.
I heal with community theater.
What about Bobby? Dana wants to know if Bobby and you are still together.
Yes, of course. Bobby, my beautiful wife.
Yeah, your beautiful wife, Bobby, with the broad shoulders.
Yes. They're broad.
Probably a collegiate swimmer.
She carries this entire relationship. The world. The world owes a debt of gratitude to women carrying us. Atlas was a woman.
Atlas, like Atlas Shrugged. What Atlas? Who?
The Atlas, the Greek god who holds up the earth,
was a woman.
Oh, Bradley, you have a lot to learn. You never.
Reginald, have you participated in any Tesla protests? Have you burned any Tesla cars?
Fuck Tesla.
You're admitting right now to what some would call terrorism. That's definitely vandalism.
Yeah. But what I've taken it a step further. I unfortunately own a Tesla, and because of the payments, I am upside down, and I cannot.
I'm sure you're upside down quite a bit in other contexts.
I am trying to be serious here. You asked me a serious question.
Okay, I apologize.
Your apology is accepted. Thank you for being a man.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Faggot.
Excuse me.
You heard me.
Excuse me.
You heard me.
That's it. I'm writing. That's another.
Go ahead. Write to the ACLU. I don't care.
I know what I'm doing is I put checks. I have a list of people.
Yeah.
Your name is on that list, and I put a check mark every time I hear.
Right. Go ahead. Put a check mark.
You've got another check mark.
My hate speech. Now go back to what you're saying.
What was I saying?
Well, we were talking
Tesla.
about your Tesla.
So my
terrorism.
Tesla. So I can't get rid of it because the payments are too, god dang it, high.
So you're forced to keep that Tesla. You're raped into keeping it.
So what I've done is I've emblazoned it with swastikas as protest.
You emblazoned your Tesla with swastikas?
I drive around Los Angeles with my swastika Tesla.
Are you heiling Hitler as you drive?
Sometimes.
What does that do? That seems like you're a Nazi.
Everyone loves it. They know what I'm doing. They know that I'm protesting. Because I'll tell you what happens is when you're in your Tesla and you're sitting there thinking to yourself, oh, I'm an oligarch lover, just sitting in my electric vehicle loving my oligarch.
But you have an electric vehicle.
But mine is a form of protest. That's the difference.
Oh, Tesla owner against Tesla.
I am an ironic Tesla owner.
An ironic Tesla owner. Because the payments
I own mine ironically.
Yes. Are you not concerned that people might think you're an actual Nazi?
I mean, the only people who would think I'm an actual Nazi would be actual Nazis.
Oh, even though you have that new mustache?
Yeah. Yeah. Only a real Nazi would think I'm a Nazi.
That is very backwards thinking. I know you like to spend a lot of time backwards, Reginald.
Oh, very funny. Just because I'm limber, I'm a limber man.
Yeah, that's why I said that, because you're limber.
You're going to learn, Bradley. Yeah, I know you like to play basketballs, but you're
Ball,
going to
yeah.
whatever, basketballs, footballs, soccers. You are going to learn that you need to be limber as you get older.
Is that a threat?
Yeah, it is a threat. It is a threat. Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. It is a threat. It is a threat.
What do you
You're
mean-
going to
what-
be limber, motherfucker.
What are you going to try and force me to do, Reggie?
Let's see what you get limber enough to do, and I'll get very creative.
I swear to God, Reginald, if I wake up and you are in my house doing yoga, I'm calling the police. And there's a swastika emblazoned Tesla in my driveway. Heil Reggie, says Bad Christian. Heil Reggie. It also says that on your Tesla, right?
It does say that on my
It says
Tesla.
Heil Reggie. on the
Heil
back of
Reggie.
it.
Hashtag Heil Reggie.
Romulic says, is it maybe counterintuitive to drastically increase the number of swastikas in public? Yeah, that is a bit. We have seen a lot of protests like yours, Reginald. Like there was the girl who, I don't even know where she was, but she stood outside of somewhere with her top off and her tits out, and she had a fake Hitler mustache and was like heiling Hitler.
What a hero. Heroine.
What a hero. How do you tell the difference in real and parody then if this is what we're doing as protesters, Reginald?
Well, it's easy, Brad. Hitler didn't have tits.
Have you seen him topless?
Okay. No, fair point. Fair point. I concede that point. I cannot prove that Hitler did not have tits.
Yeah. So now we really have no idea of telling who is a Nazi versus who is a protester. Bad Christian says, spread those cheeks. I assume he's talking to you.
Yes,
Reggie is
I
very
will.
limber.
You know what? I will spread those cheeks. This smile that you can't take away from me. There, I spread my cheeks. Can you hear my smile?
You're spreading your cheeks in protest as you
right-
smile about
yes,
it?
I'm smiling right now, and those are my cheeks spreading.
That's very gay, Reginald. It's a very gay thing for a cis hetero with a wife named, what was your wife's name again?
Brad, I am so secure in my heterosexuality that I have no problem sleeping.
That you'll
with a
suck a
man.
D, right?
Yeah, I don't care.
You don't care?
No,
You don't care. So you're like, you'll just...
I'm not gay just because no.
So it's like Yee, because Yee recently, you saw what he posted recently
Well, he was very brave to admit that, don't you think?
about his, he said he was,
about sucking about.
no, you describe it. Go, yeah, tell us.
He was giving mouth sex to.
To who? He was mouth sexing his cousin, is what you're saying. Is that correct, Reginald? Never heard it put that way before. Are you okay? Are you emotional about that admission? Because it's so brave? Reggie.
Yes, I'm so sorry. I just started to think about all the
Every
mouth sex I've had.
All and it got you really emotional.
It got me so emotional.
Yeah, because you miss your cousins.
Oh,
I'm sorry. You sound like you need a minute. Do you need to go wipe off? It
I'll
sounds like
be
you're-
fine. I'll be okay.
It's like you're getting very aroused
I'll
right
be
now.
okay.
You sound more aroused than emotional, to be honest with you.
I'll be okay. No, I've never once enjoyed having mouth sex, but
You've just felt like it's the right thing to do.
fucking do it.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, how often would you say?
Two times.
A dozen, 2 times?
A
Did you
dozen
just-
or 2 times.
Did you just slurp up a bunch of liquid?
I'm drinking a martini.
The manly drink. Reginald, let me show you a video and show the audience a video. I'd like to get your take on Elizabeth Warren's reaction, because I know that you, because
her.
you have,
I love
I know
her.
you do, and I know what your position on. So, what was your position on Joe Biden when some of us thought he was mentally declining for quite some time? You
Prove
thought-
it. Prove it.
Yeah, prove it. So, some believe that has now been proven because it's been admitted, but they just say that it was covered up. And Elizabeth Warren was asked about statements that she made about some things that she said. And I'd like to see what your reaction is to this. Let's see here. I don't know who this guy is, but
Chester Tam.
that sounds like the name of Chester. Sounds like the name of somebody you might hang out with.
He's got the profile of a founding father, doesn't he? Doesn't he look like
A
he
little
should
bit.
be on a quarter?
A little bit. I don't know.
nickel.
Maybe. Yeah, it's like a maybe young Benjamin Franklin, if you will. Let's see what he has to say here with Elizabeth Warren, Reginald's favorite.
Do you regret saying that President Biden had a mental acuity? He had a sharpness to him. You said that up until July of last year.
I said what I believe to be true.
And you think he was as sharp as you?
You see that laugh she made there? She stifled it so you couldn't hear it in the microphone, but she's stifling a laugh there. I'll let it continue.
I think. Okay, fine.
Go
I
ahead.
have an answer for that. She's laughing at how stupid the question.
Oh, that must be what it is.
Yeah,
okay,
I mean,
all right. Of course. What a stupid question that laugh
Stupid
is
question.
expressing, obviously.
Yeah, that's obviously what she's saying.
I said I had not seen decline.
There you go. Answers,
Not seen.
There you go. I don't need to
not
watch anymore.
seen. She's not seen decline right there. And look
And
at how
that
she,
face right there, that
What-
face right there,
Yes,
that
what
tells
is
me
that?
I'm telling the truth.
that
That's what
doesn't
face
say,
is.
why are you asking that question?
No, that face says, you asked me a stupid question, and I just told you the truth.
Because
That's
that
what
looks
face is.
that looks like she's saying, we told you not to ask those questions. Because she's very intentionally
I love her new
communicating.
hair, don't you?
It's very, very.
Love her new hair.
It's like an eraser. Make it like pink, and she'd look like a pencil. She's communicating very intentionally without words here. Obviously, not conscious of the video, is not consciously aware that there's a video of it, but
I said I had not seen decline.
look at him.
And I hadn't at that point.
You did not see any decline from 2024 Joe Biden to 2021 Joe Biden?
Not when I said that. You know, the
well,
thing
she's telling the
is,
truth.
Yeah, Bad Christian wants to know how demo rats actually not see how she's lying. And
Well, I don't know. I'm not a demo rat, okay?
You're demo bottom.
I'm a progressive,
Yeah, progressive bottom.
okay? I am a democratic socialist.
Right, obviously. Yeah. You're a protester. You didn't get paid to protest, right?
I don't.
You don't need
consider it
to.
pay. I don't consider it pay. It's a stipend.
Well, it's a stipend. You get
It's a
mouth sex.
stipend.
You get to mouth sex on your organizer, and that's your pay.
No, I
It's your
haven't mouth
stipend.
sexed anyone in a long time.
Right. We'll see about that.
you know, the thing is, he was sharp. He was on his feet. I saw him live event. I had meetings with him a couple of times.
Senator, on his feet is not praise. He can speak in sentences.
She's laughing through
is
all this.
not praise.
All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. Look, it is, the question is, what are we
I'll
going
say
to do?
it. I'll say it.
You can
I'll
please
say it.
say it. Say it for us.
The threat of Donald Trump was too great, and I hope you're happy.
So
Look,
you're
it
admitting
doesn't-
that you
I'm
knew
admitting what?
that you
I'm
knew that
admitting
he was
that Joe
mentally
Biden
declining.
had missed a step or two.
Yeah.
He mumbled, mixed up a few words. Here
Didn't even
and
know
there.
when you were mouth sexing.
You know, he is
him.
a
he didn't even
stutterer
compliment you.
survivor. He survived stuttering as a child.
He survived stuttering. Of
Yeah.
course. Yeah, right. And
he
made
nearly
it.
died from stuttering.
Yeah. Many
as a child.
times. He survived
Many
it.
times.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you ever get thanked even by Biden for
In his own way.
your mouth sex donation?
In his own way. We've never had mouth sex. I've never had mouth sex with Biden.
Really?
No.
Reginald.
No, I haven't. I've never been.
You've
I've
tried,
never-
though.
No, it's not. No,
You
I've never
would,
tried.
though.
Well, I mean,
You wouldn't insult him by not mouth sexing him.
if look, let me put it this
answer
way.
the question.
Let me.
You
Well,
wouldn't.
I'm going to answer the question. If let's say that there was a big decision the president had to make.
Big decision.
Right, he had an enormous
Thick
decision,
Girthy decision.
weighing his head
Yeah.
down, and he needed to clear his head.
Yeah. It's clear as
Right.
head.
You know, in
Let
order
it
to
out.
save America, I would mouth sex the president, but only in order to save our democracy.
Wait, I couldn't hear you. Could you say
I
it
said,
slower?
in order to save our democracy, I would mouth sex the president.
Okay, that's what I thought you said. That's very patriotic of you. I mean, especially as a heterosexual.
Yes. Well, I'm very secure in my heterosexuality.
That's why you're able to suck D and
Do you want me
so
to show you,
freely.
Bradley?
no.
Okay.
I
See,
know.
who's gay now? You are.
Yeah, I know.
Look
Right.
at you.
No, you
acting
very
so
ma-
gay.
you made the point there that you're not officially hetero unless you're man enough to suck another man off. I feel like it's your position.
Yes, that's my position, and I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid.
Is it true what
Let's
Bat
get back to
Christian
some of
says
my-
here on screen that
What's
you
that?
got? He says Biden pegged Reggie. I don't know that happened. It's
No,
just
I
what
don't think he did.
speculation is.
I don't think I don't think I did peg him.
So, in prison, because you have admitted to burning Teslas down,
Yes.
how do you think? Where do you think you will be in the hierarchy of prison? Because prison's not. It's
You
not
think I'm-
socialism.
Okay. All right. Fine. You know what?
What clan would you join?
My love isn't. I use love as an armor, to protect me.
Your mouth.
And-
You mean your mouth by love? That's what you.
Love
hole
can
in-
be
the hole in your
expressed
face.
in many ways.
Yeah, the hole in your face is your.
Yes. So yes, I would use my ability to use love as armor.
Yeah.
I'm a love warrior.
Right. That's how you got to fight. You know, somebody tries to rob you, you start blowing them, and you're free. Is that-
Bradley, if you're afraid of the truth, just
I'm
don't
not.
ask
I'm
me
not afraid of the
questions
truth.
now,
I'm trying to
man.
clarify what you're saying. Am I incorrect there? Is that not how you stave off robberies?
I think if I'm making you uncomfortable, maybe.
I'm not
Maybe.
uncomfortable.
I think you are. I think you are a little bit uncomfortable.
Well, okay. Well, I'll to show you that I'm not. Get back to explaining where you would lie in the prison hierarchy.
I would probably, in very short order. First of all, I'm not. I don't have ego enough to think that I would be running the prison.
Dark
okay?
Reginald has no ego.
I know how to keep my ego under control. It's one of the first things an actor learns how to do in acting class is control their ego. And what I would probably do is be second. It would be third in command. I would be the advisor, the trusted advisor to the leader of the prison leader.
Why wouldn't you want to just be the leader?
Because if you're in the court of the king,
Yeah.
your chances of survival are much greater. You know, the
Really?
courts tend to survive, and the king
kings
changes a
don't.
lot.
You think somebody would
They
come
just-
after the king?
Yes.
Right. They just come on you.
If that's what you want to call it.
But I see what you're saying. You want to be the manipulator behind closed. So if you do go to prison, if you aren't allowed to get off because of some liberal justice, judge, are you considering a run for office with your new dark persona?
I'd consider it. Yeah, I'd consider it, but I'm not really concerned about running for office. I want revolution.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm thinking more of activism,
Full Antifa.
full Antifa, pussies.
Wow.
Pussies.
Wow.
Antifa's a bunch of pussies.
Wow.
Yes.
What's your new group going to be called then? Sounds like you got to be the leader of it.
Instead of Antifa?
Yeah. The Jasmine Crockett's.
No, that's too long. Reginators.
The Reginators.
Yes, the Reginators.
How do you get to be a member of the Reginators?
We have to be beat in.
To be beaten in the face?
No, beat in. You have to beat.
Oh,
you have to
You have to
beat in.
beat in.
Yes.
That's it. That's how it works. You got to, okay.
You have to fight for your life.
Right.
among some of the toughest hombres you've ever met.
Yeah, I'm sure. Do you have anybody in there right now with you? Do you have a staff?
I am currently getting it. It's a startup organization. I don't have anyone permanent now.
Funded by Act Blue, probably.
Funny. Haha. We've all given to Act Blue.
I've
Every one of
never
us.
given to Act Blue.
I bet you have.
I've never. Well, you're right. Somebody might have in my name. You're right. You're right, Reginald. Touche. Bad Christian says you can be the next Klaus Schwab. We had somebody suggest you be the next Pope earlier as well. A lot of opportunities for you.
Oh, I'm going places. I'm going places. The world is my oyster.
Yeah. Because you like to swallow.
Ha 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 ha. Ha ha ha.
What do you think of that, Reginald?
I think it's funnier than your jokes.
Oh, Reginald, you're quite the character. I know we do have we bash heads a little bit, which I think is okay. Although Larry David doesn't think it's okay to bash heads. He doesn't.
Well, I was going to say this may be the very last time I come on here.
This is the last time because you don't want to have it.
It's talking with a Nazi like you is probably
A member of
not
the
good.
SS. Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably not good. Probably not. Probably not
That was a
good.
good one, Reginald. Reginald, not to take it off the subject too much. I know you're Dark Reginald. I should be calling you by your actual name. Are you in blackface? Because
Right
Dark
now?
Reginald or Dark Woke, it showed Jasmine Cryer, who's black. You're white.
Yes. No, I am not currently, but I'm not afraid to do it in order as
I
a
say prove
performative
it.
activism.
I say the best form of activism any progressive like you can do is emblazon their Tesla with swastikas
In fact, I'll
and
probably do
go
that.
driving blackface while highwaying.
Thank you. You know what? I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that this evening, as a matter of fact.
I think you should drive around the Capitol in D.C.
Oh, you think I should drive my Tesla all the
I
way?
think you should drive around the White House like that and
Yes.
try to drive in, see if
not
you can get inside.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Before we get out of here, I know you are on a tight time schedule. You have to,
I have to
Yeah.
get up for rehearsal tomorrow
for what?
of my new one-man show,
Enlighten us,
Dark Reginald.
of course. What's it about?
Me and my experiences trying to be nice and realizing that that doesn't work. You've got to be a justice warrior.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's a musical.
Is there a montage of you taking out your enemies with violent mouth sex?
It's suggested.
It's just implied.
It's implied.
Yeah, so you're not too on the nose. You like to think that your audience is smart and they can see it without.
Oh yes, they can. Yeah, in those scenes, you do have to be prepared. There are some very, very adult themes in this show. This is not a show for the faint of heart. This is a very dark Reginald.
Have you pre-sold any tickets?
Oh, I've sold them all.
They're all gone. How many
Yes,
seats?
you know I do it over in the North Hollywood Theater.
No.
Beautiful 25-seat theater.
Yeah, in the North Hollywood Theater, which is that a nice part of town?
Beautiful part of town.
Right.
Right across from the Bill McKean Chevrolet dealership.
Right. Where you used to perform. That's where you started your career.
It is where I started my career.
In the parking lot over there.
In the parking lot, I used to, those cars don't sell themselves. They have
Of course
to be
not.
spiffed up and shined.
Yeah.
what I
Which has been your motto throughout your career as well. Spiff
Started
up
out
and
as a
shine.
humble car shine boy.
Yeah, spiff up and shine. That
Yes.
rod, that hot rod. Bad Christian has a question for you.
Mhm.
What's your
Oh.
OnlyFans username?
Well, I don't have an OnlyFans, but I guess if I were to have an OnlyFans,
It's a tough one.
it's a tough one. Probably Edgy Reggie.
Edgy Reggie's the most
Edgy Reggie.
disgusting thing that I've heard in a
bring
long
you
time.
right to the-
It's just absolutely
you-
disgusting, Reggie.
I bring you right to the edge.
That's disgusting.
Edgy Reggie.
Absolutely disgusting. Okay, final question. Then I want you to react to one last video, and then we appreciate the time you've given us, and we'll wrap things up here, which I'm sure you never actually do is wrap it up. Did you go to space? There was some speculation
Okay.
and some
So-
alternative news that you might have gone to space.
Practically. I practically went to space.
Meaning,
Well, you know that there were the women that went to space. Well, I don't know if you realize this, but I do a little personal assist. I am very close with Lady Katy Perry.
oh,
Right?
okay.
And I assisted her and trained with her to prepare her for that space flight. And so I very
Really?
nearly practically went to space.
So you vicariously went to space through Katy Perry.
Well,
Why did you train her? What qualifications do you have?
it was everyone's first time.
Right. So might as well be trained by someone who's also never been.
Yeah, it was everyone's first time. I don't understand your point.
Oh, yeah.
None of them had any qualifications. I was
Okay.
just as qualified as any of them. So she's a performer. I'm a performer.
How'd you guys meet? How did she find you?
Funny story. I was, I play many roles in the city of
Oh,
Los
I'm
Angeles,
sure.
and one of the roles I play is sometimes I am a waiter, and she came into
course.
this beautiful Italian restaurant that I work that allows me on stage as a waiter from time to time, and she was seated at my table.
Yeah.
And she liked the cut of my jib. What can I say?
Well, I feel like there's some details we're missing there. Maybe we'll hear about in the future. Open mouth, Reg. I love to role play as Bad Christian. I'm just thinking about the roles that you play in Hollywood, and there's probably so many. But
So
on the,
many.
on the streets, you're
So
known as
many.
Open Mouth Reg, from what I've been able
Edgy
to.
Reggie.
Edgy Reggie with the open mouth, and the peacock head, chicken head, or something like that. That's just what I read on Reddit. You have a very popular there's a Reddit channel around you where they talk about Reginald sightings. I don't know if you know that.
No, I did not know this.
Yeah, open mouth Reg, peacock Reg.
Oh, very funny.
Yeah, dick sucker Reg.
Was it dum-dum-dum? There we are.
There you go. All right, Reginald. I just want to see what you do in this situation, and then we'll let you get back to working on your protest and
What would I do? What
and
would I
everything.
do?
I haven't even seen all this. This was a fight that happened. This is Barstool Sports that posted this, so I can make that bigger. A fight that broke out on a golf course. So have you done much golfing, Reginald?
No, I don't play that. It's a game only evil white men play.
Of course. Well, except Tiger Woods. He's not white.
He's the black
Asian,
face of
the
white
black.
people.
He's what?
He's the black face of white people. You asked. Tiger
course.
Face is in blackface right
Tiger
now.
Face isn't Tiger
He's-
Face.
he's in
Is that what
Tiger
you call
Face.
it? He's a Tiger Face.
Yes.
There's a story that I don't know how true it is, but there was a story recently that said that he is dating Don Jr.'s ex-wife because she took Donald Trump's granddaughter, Don Jr.'s daughter, to him for golf lessons, and he started dating Don Jr.'s wife. Do you have any thoughts on that?
It's disgusting.
Really? Because of the interracial relationship?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Because a black person shouldn't sully themselves with evil white DNA.
Right. It's disgusting.
It's disgusting. White people are disgusting. It's the thing I hate about myself the most.
Right. Yeah, no, that's a bold position here. Let's see this fight break out. There, and for those listening, a bunch of old white
It's
dudes.
dark woke is
Reginald's
what that
correct.
is.
That is very dark woke.
It's a dark woke.
That's the darkest woke. There they are fighting. The shirt comes off.
You can step in, Justin. You can.
I love that somebody was like, "Oh shit, let's get the camera out. Like the person filming could be helping fight, break the fight up, but instead this guy here is trying to fight everybody with his shirt off.
Justin.
What was that? He just fell himself.
Yes.
He has a Hitler. Look at his mustache,
Oh,
Reginald.
he's going.
Do you see that? He's got a Hitler stash.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, he actually does. I love there's a chick back there with a knee brace.
This is crazy, hun.
No, oh no. That's a person of color who came in.
That's the end of the fight.
That's it. That's the end of the fight. That's all we have on that. I don't know how it turned out. I just was curious because I saw the Hitler stash, and I know how you feel about that. If you happen to be on a golf course, what would your reaction have been if you first situation saw that going on?
The first thing I would have used was probably some of the Krav Maga training that I've been trained in. You know, I have a black belt in Krav Maga.
I didn't know that. How long have you trained?
2-3 years.
Wow.
Yes.
There been in a fight?
We train for it. We do train for it.
Do you train with adults or children?
Both. Mix it up.
Okay.
You never know. You could be attacked by one adult or 10 children. You don't know. These MAGA children who go to these homeschools, disgusting little MAGA children that are homeschooled, the stupid little tribal MAGA children, they could, you ever see...
Think about driving a Tesla through them?
You ever see Beyond Thunderdome?
No.
You've never seen Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome?
Oh, I've seen Mad Max, yeah.
Okay,
You think that
you've
could
seen
be- that's what
Beyond
MAGA
Thunderdome.
I don't recall. I know that I've seen
My goodness, Bradley. Master Blaster, the one with Tina Turner.
Master Blaster.
Oh my goodness. I cannot believe you don't know that the fact that... Who runs
can't believe
Bartertown?
you do
Bradley,
know
who
that.
runs Bartertown? Who runs Bartertown?
Bartertown?
Oh my goodness.
What are you talking about?
Could someone in the
Reginald?
comments tell me who runs Bartertown? Please.
Well, the comment we have here is that you have a rainbow belt in Krav Maga.
Yeah, I do.
Golf can be exciting. That's what we have here. But you seem to know movie references that a presumed to be gay man like you shouldn't know.
Yeah. Yeah, Master Blaster runs Bartertown. Thank you, Tony. Thank you. Thank you.
Wow, maybe you are straight.
Excuse me.
Are you a plant? Some people think David.
No, I'm a
Hogg-
human.
I know you're not.
Plants can't talk.
You're not a
Brad.
literal plant. Okay.
Jeez.
David Hogg, some believe. I heard this theory a few times. I've heard it brought back.
David
That he
Hogg.
said that he's a Republican that was sent to go destroy the Democrat Party by being just such a big fag. Is that what you are?
No.
You're just a big fag.
I'm not even going to answer that
I
question.
shouldn't even say that. I
You know
just
how straight
feel,
I am. You know how straight I am.
And that's you can only call
You
straight
know how-
people fags. That's why
you know
it's
how
okay.
damn straight I am.
You're yeah, right. That's why I can
I'm
be like,
so
stop being
damn
faggot.
straight.
You can't. There's no vagina that you won't
Every
yeah,
one of them. Give me
master
them all.
blaster. You know,
Give me each vagina in a row.
each vagina. You'll do the 1,000 woman challenge.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yes. I'll do the 1,000 woman challenge.
Yeah, you'll do the backdoor challenge.
Yeah. I'll do all the challenges.
On OnlyFans, your OnlyFans,
Yeah.
if you have one. Right. Lily, he's a plant. He's Lily. Yeah, that's Lily. It's who we're talking about, the OnlyFans girl. Feel like you could give her a run for her money, Reginald. So, I'm sorry you didn't get to go to space. I'm glad you went vicariously through Katy Perry. I hope she gave you credit for it.
That flower was my idea.
Really? The flower she showed?
The daisy was my idea.
Some people don't think they went to space. They think it was all staged.
Oh, yes. And I guess we didn't land on the moon either.
Some people also think that.
Whatever.
They think Kubrick or the guy who did The Shining and Eyes Wide Shut helped stage it.
I saw Eyes Wide Shut, and the moon
sure.
landing was way more boring.
Yeah.
There's no way that was
You didn't
the
like
same
Eyes
director.
Wide Shut? Have you ever been to
No.
a party like that?
No, I've catered at parties.
You've
like
catered
that.
a party like
I've
that.
catered a
Right,
party like
right.
that. Yes.
Been the help. Yeah,
Well, I've played a role as a caterer.
I'm sure that you did. Was there any MS going on?
MS.
Yeah. MS, mouth.
Mouth sex.
You get my drift.
You mean
All
did
right,
I
Reg.
give anyone an MS? Did
Yeah,
anyone
did you
get
give
an
anybody
MS?
any MS when you're at that party, these parties? Did you infect them with some MS?
No.
All right, Reginald. I appreciate you sharing so much of your time with us today. Is there anywhere you'd like to direct people? I know you have an X profile where you.
Yes,
prolific.
I have taken. If you're on Blue Sky, you can come follow me on Blue Sky at Reginald Reggie V Actor, Reginald V Actor, or you can find me on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Reginald V Actor. You can follow me there.
Yeah, I thank you for being with us. I have to say, your new look with those laser eyes, those dark Reginald eyes. I'm interested to see what endeavors you engage in with the new dark Reginald attitude. I know that's the new Democrat line, so you'll have to
And,
keep us updated.
I will, and if I made you or anyone else uncomfortable this evening, it's because you're complicit. Just take that to the bank.
Yeah, that's an interesting logic you have there. Thank you, Reginald, for joining us.
Oh, you're
And we'll
most
bring you
welcome.
back again. You just let me know when you're ready to come back on again, and you can update us on all your doings. Everybody follow Reginald on X. Bad Christian says Blue Skies for pedos. All right, Reginald, we'll talk to you soon. Good luck to
Over
you.
and out.
Over and out. You have a fantastic rest of your day, Reginald. All right, guys, thanks for all the questions for Reginald. He's he's a favorite guest on there. Colbatrack says the capsule was not a space capsule. Thanks for the show, Reggie and Brad. Anyone tried running over Reggie in the Rainbow Crosswalk yet? I don't know that Reggie's been on the Rainbow Crosswalk yet. So I would advise him to stay away from that crosswalk, as the hit and run incidents have increased over there. And I don't know how the drivers can tell the difference between LGBTQ crossing and hetero crossing, except maybe by the walk and look of the person. Although maybe there is just hit and run incidents that happen in Atlanta because it's Atlanta, and maybe it has nothing to do with a crosswalk. But if it is a concern, when I first saw this story, I would say if you think people are being targeted because of a crosswalk, I would say that's retarded, because straight people have to cross also. Straight people cross the gay crosswalk. Personally, if it's me, I step a little to the side because I feel like you can be photographed by a drone. They say, look, so-and-so crossed on the gay crosswalk. Only gays and LGBTQ can cross there. It's not the case. I think the entire story about the increase of hit and runs at the LGBTQ crosswalk in Atlanta is just fabricated for the purpose of making it look like hate crimes are happening that aren't actually happening. Atlanta is the kind of place where our Walmarts have police precincts inside them. Rampant crime in the city is a staple of the ATL. That's my thoughts on that. Although I do think the crosswalk is super gay. What's up, Denver? Thank you, Brad, Ian, and last but not least, certainly Reginald. Absolutely. Reginald is brave enough to come onto this show knowing he's going to be questioned a lot. Not a lot of people will go onto shows where they're going to be critically questioned. And I might lob a jab at Reginald every now and then, but that's only because I know that he can take it. And so I appreciate that about Reginald and any other progressive who would come on to the show, because most of them won't. So thank you for Reginald to that. And thank you for everybody in the chats on all the platforms. Instagram, Rockfin, YouTube, X. Where else are we? Facebook, I believe. Thinking about getting... any of you guys, and you guys can answer in the chats, have you guys heard of Kick.com? thinking about adding that. I'm going to try and add as many streams that are compatible with StreamYard as I can. Georgia in the running for worst drivers in the country. Absolutely. Yeah, Atlanta traffic is people. LA traffic. I haven't been to LA since I was very, very young. I'm sure it's awful. Atlanta traffic has to be right up there with some of the worst in the country. It's a nightmare. Heard of it, but I'm always on YouTube. Yes. Yeah. Are any of you guys on Twitch? Do you guys ever... Twitch is a gaming platform. Is that right? Yes, I'm on Rumble. I am. It's the Prop Report. The Propaganda Report on Rumble. Here, I'll put the link in here for you. Because Rumble doesn't... Sometimes we get a little bit censored on YouTube. Rumble doesn't... It's censored other people. It is yet to censor us. So I'll see if I can put a link there for you if you want to follow us there just in case. There you go. Yeah, so I there's the link to the Rumble. Denver or Bad Christian. Denver says David Knight's on Kick. That's interesting. David Knight left Rockfin and joined Kick in the same move. That's very interesting. Rockfin has been good to us, but also Rockfin's also, I've talked about Rockfin before. We're on Rockfin right now. There's been some communication issues with Rockfin. It's been a little bit frustrating for sure. I can see why David Knight might have switched over. I wonder why he went to Kick. Did he say why he went to Kick, Denver? Just trying it out, maybe? No, but you've heard. Tumble says Cobalt Track, BitChute, Odyssey. I need to get on Odyssey. A lot of people have been telling me about Odyssey. That seems to be a consistent theme, so I definitely need to get on there because you can back your stuff up on there. Because I've heard about people just losing their entire catalog of videos on YouTube, and I've lost videos on YouTube randomly. They don't tell you; you just lose them. Especially during 2020, actually after the Las Vegas shooting is when I started getting videos taken down on YouTube. I used to do pretty well on YouTube, and I grew a lot faster than I do now. But then the Las Vegas shooting happened, and I did a couple shows on that, and that ended very rapidly after that. We'll do one more quick video to get out of here. You guys have probably seen some of this. But I think it's funny. It's this. Why is this? Hold on. Here, so I'm trying to why is that not showing? So I have my monitors that I do on the show. I have a couple of monitors to be able to see things, and it's like the size of the monitors differs, and it makes it difficult sometimes to put things up on screen. But I finally got that figured out there. Get rid of that. This is the twins. Have you guys seen the twins that were interviewed during you know how there'll be a crime or something that happens or an accident, and they'll be on the scene is so-and-so talking to witness, and it's these two twins, these women who were interviewed, and it's very funny. Denver says that, talking about David Knight, he's on others, Rumble, but Rockfin has its chat groups, and the Rockfin crowd of David's many migrated over to Kick for the same chat dynamic. Interesting. That is one of the things about Rumble or Rockfin, which I've not. And Denver, I know that you comment on Rockfin, then you come over to YouTube when I don't see it because it's hard to switch back between. I don't always see it. But the community on Rockfin was always great because there was a little bit of community building over there that was cool. So I was disappointed when there were issues. And I'm still hoping they can be resolved. Here's the video that I'm... I don't know who this news reporter is, the local news station.
Witnesses are recounting some of the drama that unfolded on the Sunshine Coast this afternoon. Two sisters have told how their mother and man raced to help when the carjacked SUV rolled on Steve Irwin Way, only to find the gun-wielding car thief emerging from the wreck. Here's some of what they had to say.
So what you see on screen, for those listening, it just cut to two women that appear to be dressed in scrubs, like the type of scrubs you might wear if you work in a children's hospital. They have bunnies on them, stuff like that. Unless they're like white ladies who work at a Chinese restaurant, a weird Chinese restaurant, but they appear to work at some sort of thing. Yeah, those sisters, and they're twins. And here they are. The guy's holding the microphone to them, and she just cut to him, and here they are describing the situation. And, of course, they're standing out in front of a bunch of trailer homes. This is Australia.
Emerging from the wreck. Here's some of what they had to say.
And one guy, he was up there with our mum, and he went up there, and he was coming back down towards us, and he goes, "Run, he's got a gun." And our heart started to pound, and I said, "Oh, Mum, where's Mum?" And poor Mum was stuck up there, but apparently our brave Mum, she goes, "Are you all right?"
Because he had all blood
all over his face. And he goes, "I'll shoot you." She goes, "Hey, I'm here to help."
And Mum distracting him to make him look the other way, and he looked the other way, and Mum ran
into the bush behind the fence. And the guy goes to her, "I'll find you and I'll shoot you." All I was thinking about when we were running,
I hope he doesn't fire.
Yeah, we were so blessed.
How close to him do you think you were?
So from there on, it's. I wonder if they were screaming. Can you imagine the carjacker? He's in the midst of a carjacking, and the people they're trying to stop him from doing it. And then these two women are on the side. They're screaming the same thing in unison. It has to be very distracting for the carjacker. Maybe they helped. Maybe they're like, "What are you doing?" And they're saying the same thing. Probably was like, "Wait a minute, what the F?" It's very distracting for them. This is like an improv game. It's like a short form improv game where people try, and I don't even remember what it's called, but you basically speak in the same voice as the other person, and it becomes fun because you see what they're saying, and then it just goes out. But this is like a real life version of that. It's just so interesting. Twins are so interesting, aren't they? It's like every story of twins. There was a documentary on Netflix where these twins didn't even know they were twins because they had been adopted separately. They'd been put up for adoption when they were kids, and then they all ended up going to the same university together. And they majored in the same thing. I'm misremembering some of it, but it's always just a crazy story about twins. It's fascinating to me. They should study twins more. They probably do a lot. Denver says, "Me too, Brad. Had Rockfin played its cards right, it could have beat Rumble to the punch." I agree. I do agree. Yeah, and this says poor management is why it's not making it, and that non-censor media might not be an attractive investment. For me, it's just I didn't know they switched to a stable coin. Everything just there was not communication on some of the things, and people would be double charged, probably some sort of glitch, but then they'll want to cancel their subscription because they're getting double charged and stuff, and totally understand that, and the payment structure and just the app didn't always work, which I think if you're operating in a way that appears to be good faith by all, and I'm not saying that they're not. I'm just saying that the communication made it very difficult for some people to kind of stand. But I still use Rockfin. I like Rockfin. I want Rockfin to. I want those issues to be resolved, and it bums me out that a lot of people lost faith in it. I think they had an opportunity to really kind of get the jump on Rumble. I would agree on that. Some would say Rumble is still a little bit is a little controlled, and that Rockfin is probably a little bit less controlled. I've never been censored on either, so for me personally, I can't tell a difference. But there's definitely some more establishment investments in Rumble, than Rockfin. But I don't know. There just seemed to be some avoidable issues that arose with Rockfin. But maybe they'll get together, maybe they won't. Who knows? Are these two girls from The Shining grown up? Says they might be, dude. They totally might be. Yeah. Yeah, Denver. I seems like they hit some liquidity issues, or wanted to be, and it never. No, it was. So that's what I thought at first, Sweet Cheeks. If this is a bit, and it could be. It could be a bit. Because they were interviewed by a number of people, they did the same thing. But also, twins act like this. I haven't met a ton of twins in my life, but I've met enough to know that, strangely, they act like this. It's weird. It's really weird. Here's the rest of what they had to say.
Well, see, he was up there, and we were past our when driveway. You don't think of all of that at the time. No, you just run for your safety.
I'm just seeing that because I've played the improv game so many times where you try to mirror what the other person's saying, and you're always kind of looking at them, and it could be a bit that they do, but it could also be twins just being twins. I think the more they were interviewed and the more they saw that it went viral, then that probably made them play up that for sure. But twins have such a weird connection. And maybe the studies about twins, or the reports on the studies about them, have focused so much on the similarities that twins have, and have focused so little on the dissimilarities, the things that are different. That maybe there's a biased view towards that. Maybe if the focus of the studies were all the things that are different about twins, and that is what was talked about in social science, then maybe there would be a different view. So let's say these two were interviewed about what happened here, and they didn't do this at all. They're standing there and they look exactly alike, but their responses are completely different. Then this never would have been a story. So there would not have been a story that said, look how different these two twins interpreted this crime that they witnessed. That would have never happened. So perhaps there is something to that. Perhaps there's, what's it called, a primacy bias to that. I would go mad having lunch with them. I was thinking about that the other day after I saw this, Denver. What if you're dating somebody who's a twin? You're a guy, especially as a guy, is the perspective I was thinking about this from. You're going to face the question as a man, are you attracted to my sister? That's a question that there is no correct answer to. You can't say, no, of course not. Because then the response is, oh, you're not attracted to me? Because they look exactly alike. If you say, of course, I'm so attracted to your sister, then it's, oh, you want to bang my sister? It's a lose-lose situation there. In my opinion, original twofer. Rumble is still glitchy for me and very slow on TV. There are some glitches with Rumble. YouTube's 20 years old. I think yesterday or today maybe. Doesn't YouTube seem much older than that? My point in bringing that up was YouTube has developed all this technology that it's hard for these younger companies to catch up to. Rumble's getting there. But it seems like YouTube is much older than 20 years old. It's crazy that it's only 20 years old. And that it's both crazy that it's only 20 years old and is 20 years old at the same time for me. It's like time moves so much differently when you're an adult versus when you're a child. Bad Christian says that I would need to see both boobies side by side. Let me see them both. I can't, yeah, so that's how you date. Are you attracted to my sister? It's like, I can't tell you that. I haven't seen her boobs. You want an answer? Show me her boobs too. Let me compare the two. Then I'll give you an answer, honey. Do you want an honest answer? I don't know that that's an approach that would satisfy the girlfriend, Bad Christian, but maybe it will. Maybe she'll go, okay, at least you're honest. Sister, come here. And then they're exactly the same. What do you do then? You know? It would be weird to be a twin, I think. Not one, so I don't know for sure. I imagine you'd be very connected. You'd feel very, very connected to your twin or triplet or quadruplet. But I also imagine you would probably long for a sense of individuality, of everybody wants to be seen as unique, as doing something that they're the best at. I imagine there would be difficulties in that because it's like, I want to try and do something that's unique for me individually. And then you go and do that pursuit. And then you turn around and you go, oh my gosh, there's all my twin sisters or brothers. You guys are also trying the exact same unique thing that I am. You want to compare and feel them both. So you can't just see them, says Bad Christian. You need to compare and feel them, you know. Of course it's for scientific purposes only. Fauci kills animals, experiments on the public for scientific purposes. The least we can do is let Bad Christian test the breast of a couple of twins to see which one he likes the best. I don't think that. I think that should be funded by the USAID, personally. That's where the money should be diverted, Bad Christian. But I'm not in government. That's the suggestion I would make. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out in the chats again. It's always fun. Love you guys. We will talk to y'all next week. Propagandafight.com at Freedom Act Radio on X. YouTube.com/Brad Binkley. Rumble.com/The Prop Report. Instagram.com/The Prop Report. Propaganda, Patreon.com/Propaganda Report. PropReport.com.locals. See you, Tony. See you guys. See you, Romulus. See you, Denver. See you, Sweet Cheeks. You guys have a fantastic weekend. See you, Pat and his cat. And anybody that I missed, thanks for the great chat. You guys are awesome. See y'all later.